Good afternoon, everyone. Glad you are here. Hope everybody's had a good week. It's been a good one here. We are going to be recording this today. This is going to be one that we're going to be posting. It's going to be talking about competitive advantages we have. So we're going to talk in a way, we're going to bring out some highlights of the competitive advantages we do have. We won't be naming names of competitors, but I think you'll get the idea of who we're talking about. Maybe you know some of these, maybe you don't, but nonetheless, we do have some sincere advantages that we're going to talk about. So let's talk about the Aldelo Express competitive advantages. We've talked at length about the ROI advantages we have. We've talked about labor scheduling and hostess seating, inventory, required beverage, and of course Mesa. We've talked about all these in an ROI type of standpoint. We've done the numbers, and I'm hoping that you've gotten comfortable with quoting these numbers where you can talk about these very easily, very confidently, and then use those ROI advantages to cost justify the system. We're going to go beyond that. We've also talked about technological advantages that we have, that we're hardware agnostic. We both run on Android and Apple. So you may run across somebody who can't stand Apple, and you're going to run across those that are Apple snobs. We can do both. In fact, we can do both in the same network, which is very unusual to have those two operating systems actually be able to communicate and work together. It's very unusual. So we're hardware agnostic. And that also gives us the ability to run very effectively without having to have huge hardware requirements. You can run our software on any of the Apple iPads with minimal hardware, minimal RAM. You don't have to have the Mac Daddy with the biggest RAM. You can run our software on the smallest of the iPads. So you don't have to have huge, expensive hardware to run our system. That is an absolute advantage. There's no internet dependency with us. Our competition, some of them actually have websites that post their status to show that their system is up or down. And they do have outages. We get a lot of our partners come to us from competitors. And one of the reasons they come to us is because of the outages that other systems have. One of the reasons we don't have outages is we host at Amazon Web Services. So when was the last time you heard about Amazon's site going down, right? Well, we host on the same computers that they do. So we are very reliable from the hosting standpoint. And that gives us virtually unlimited processing power, which then gives us the ability to then do the heavy lifting, the calculations, the heavy computations, and those things are done on the cloud and not at the store level on the iPad. That's why we can have minimum hardware requirements at the store, because we're doing all the heavy lifting off-site. That gives us a distinct advantage over competition because we don't have to have a PC. Actually, there are some tablet systems that require a PC be in the back office. We don't have that limitation. You can have a single iPad or a single Android terminal install. You do not have to have any other devices for processing anything else at the store. No PC required. Just a simple iPad or the Android terminal. So you can have a one terminal install. Something else we do that I find amazing is that other systems, there are systems out there that don't share guest checks between terminals. We do share those guest checks. And that is, you can ring up on one, start the transaction on another, recall it on another, and even close it on a different one. So we do shared guest checks. Not all systems do that. And while we're sharing, we also have multi-store gift and multi-store loyalty. Something I also didn't put on here is that we have the ability to transfer inventory between stores. So we have not really multi-store inventory, but we have store transfers of inventory. So these are the advantages technologically that we have that you should be aware of and talk about with your prospects. Now I'm going to get into some new topics that we have not yet discussed, and those are going to also give us competitive advantages. These are not necessarily return on investment advantages, but then they are distinct advantages, all of which you should take to your customers. We're going to talk about improved or easier order flow. We're going to talk about some visual advantages that we have that then turn into some pretty distinct advantages for us that turn out to be pretty disadvantaged for the other guys. And then we have some innovation, some new things that are coming through our development cycle that have just recently been released that are quite innovative and do give us an advantage that you should be aware of and use. So let's talk about easier order flow. One of the things is our pizza module. Very, very, very good module. It allows for 10 sizes, unlimited crust types, unlimited sauces. This also has the ability to have whole, half, and thirds, unlimited toppings, and those unlimited toppings can be regular or premium toppings, which carry a price. Then you can also do single, double, or triple toppings. That is a single topping or double meat or triple meat, for instance. And of course, you can rename this for other uses. You can have this as a burrito builder or omelet builder, something that also has different sizes, different crust, or different choices there for bread, and maybe different cheeses or something on that third choice. So anything that has 3 choices as a base with additional toppings as options, that would work for the pizza module. And you can literally go into the above store and rename it. You can rename it a burrito builder. So this gives you a very distinct advantage in that other systems either don't have this feature, don't have this module, or you have to pay extra for it. And it's included with the Aldelo Express. So this is a distinct advantage when it comes to order flow. Be creative here and use this to your advantage. Next up is our split check feature. It's okay. So if you look at other systems and they say, yeah, we have a split check, then you need to ask, well, how does that work? Because we have some distinct advantages with the way ours works. You can do it by seat at the payment screen. It's a single button, push that one button, and it splits it out by seat. But maybe that's not the best way. Maybe there's a better way to do it. And we have 2 different versions for manually doing it. You can do it by tab, or you can do it by the check feature, which I show on the screen here. This allows you to touch and move, touch and move, touch and move, and to split that check manually. It's very fast, very easy to do, and it gives the operator multiple choices as to how they want to split that. Because if you haven't entered the order by seat, it's kind of hard to split by seat, but much easier to split going back and doing it this way. So take advantage of the different methods of splitting a check and show how easy that is, because it is an advantage if you make it one. If you show it and you'll make it look easy, then it is easy, and it will be something that the customer is going to really get attached to. Next up is you can split this up to 99 ways, by the way. I almost forgot that. So you can have 99 splits of a check. Then there's split item. This is something that was recently released that allows you to take an individual item and split it up to 10 ways. You simply touch the item, swipe right to left, and it gives you a 10 keypad to then determine how many splits you want of that. Split it up to 10 ways, move those over into those different checks, and you've got it. Not every system can do a split item. Very few can. Be sure and show this, make it important to that customer, and then they will demand that of your competition who probably can't do it. So take advantage of this. Next up is gesturing. And some of our older seasoned dealers don't get it. They don't understand how gesturing, how important that is. It's the same thing you do on your phone, up, down, left, right. That's the gesturing motion on the phone to move from one screen to the other, move from one app to the other. Gesturing is an integral part of the younger generation. If they are on that cell phone, if they're on their phone or tablet, they're used to gesturing. And gesturing for them makes operations of our point of sale faster, because we can use 1, 2, or 3 fingers of gesturing on our system. Not only moving up, down, left, right, there are times where you take 2 fingers, push a button or push an item, and it has functions behind that. That's simply one of the easier ways that we do single, double, or triple toppings. If you do have that option, one push with 1 finger is a single topping. 2 fingers on that then pops that up, gives you a pop-up to then determine if you're going to be a double or triple topping. No, only add. Those things are activated by a 2-finger push on the button. So this makes the operation for the younger waiters and waitresses far simpler. They are going to migrate to this quickly. They're going to enjoy it, use it. It does really give quicker access to the additional features that are on the point of sale that really you can't get to without using them. So get comfortable with this, get comfortable with gesturing, because it will speed up the order flow, and therefore it could be utilized as an ROI feature, showing how you can have more throughput. I'm not going to go that far on this presentation, but it is feasible that if you do get good enough with the gesturing, that you could operate that terminal faster. Some visual advantages. I like to show my customized login screen. And what I do is this is my pizza demo. I put a picture of the demo of the pizza behind it. I can use restaurant images. I can use food images. I can use just basic reminders. What are the pictures of the daily specials that pop up here? Multiple images will rotate through every 30 seconds. So in the above store, you go in and you load in those multiple images, and then the login screen will change every 30 seconds. I like to do that from the standpoint of putting that screen there, customizes it for that individual restaurant. It gives them ownership of that. It's a mental thing, but it was certainly something I would do in a presentation. I would have a picture of the restaurant, picture of maybe one of their food items, something that would then make that stick with them. Remember, customers always buy emotionally. They have to like it. They have to embrace it. They have to want it. And that's all emotional selling. The more emotions you can get involved with them, the better off you're going to make that sale, and they're going to make it sticky. So they buy emotionally and justify with logic later on. That's the return on investment aspect. So get them emotionally involved with these visual advantages, and you'll see how much of an advantage you really, really do have. Another visual advantage is every item can have an image. Well, now I don't propose that you have every item with an image. Sometimes it works, sometimes it helps. But for instance, where it wouldn't help is it's hard to see the difference between a hamburger and a cheeseburger, maybe even a bacon cheeseburger. Those are a little harder to differentiate. However, where it is good is with popular company logos such as Coke, Pepsi, Budweiser, Coors, that are companies that have spent billions of dollars to train us to look for their logos. This is a good example of how you can use that to your advantage. It's much faster to find a Coke using their logo than it is that 4-letter word. Use those logos to your advantage to draw attention to those items, and therefore it will be an increase in the speed of service. But what could be even more important is it spotlights the problem with your competitor's hardware. Your competitor's hardware isn't strong enough to run software that has high graphics. The high graphics do take more processing, and your competition, those Android terminals that they are using, don't have the power they need to run graphics. So you sell the graphics, you sell the visual advantage that you have with those items with graphics, with images and buttons and with pictures. You get the customer to understand that that's what they want, then your competition can't provide it. So it's a true differentiation when it comes to pointing out how weak the competitor's hardware truly is. Taking that a step further is the detailed pop-up. Now, this is a combination of the two-finger gesturing and the good hardware and software that we have that have those images. Every button has the ability to take two fingers, push it, and then display pops up. It shows a detailed picture with the which is a different image than the one that's on the button. So the image that pops up here can be such as the plated, what the food looks like on a plated situation, where it's got the sides that go with it. This also can have a detailed description. So to the right of the picture, that description can have what goes into this item, the item list. If you're doing a drink, it can be in the bar. It could be how to make that, the recipe, how to make that drink. And it also could have things like the allergy alerts. So there's a lot of practical use of this detailed picture. This is something you need to show. This is something your competition cannot do. Use it to your advantage. Some innovative features and advantages you have. Aldelo is bringing artificial intelligence to the point of sale industry. It's coming. Well, actually, it's already here. And we're absolutely the leader in the POS industry when it comes to AI technology. And what we're doing is we're taking that high-powered cloud computing and we're using it to enhance and improve the point of sale. We're letting it do some of the thinking, some of the calculations, some of the analysis. We're letting the AI take that brunt of that extra weight of computations and thinking and letting it do that for us. This is technology that we already have patents on, and we have other patents that are pending. So what I'm about to show you is there should be a reminder of what we have, but just know that this is a distinct advantage, and you need to show this every time. First up is facial recognition. We've had this now for over a year, maybe 2 years. This actually uses the camera on the iPad or Android to recognize the operator and log them in. It works with a mask on, it works with glasses, and it works with hats. So it's very fast and it's very, very secure. You'll even notice in this example, I was kind of off camera just a little bit. I wasn't centered. So it does have the ability to take a fast picture using the camera. So the person doesn't have to be in center, just getting it close so that we can use the recognition, the facial area. It's generally around the eyes is where it's important. That will then log that person in. It does reduce buddy punching, and that is the buddy punching of letting somebody clock an employee who's not on premise, clock them in before they get to work. So it's riding the clock with the person not being there on time. So this reduces the buddy punching and the option for that. It secures the POS without a doubt. This then limits the ability for people to clock in using a number that's not theirs. That then also goes right in hand with requiring managers to come to the terminal to make an approval or or an override. They have to be there. Their face has to be there to make that happen. So generally what happens is, in a restaurant, when the server has done something and they need a manager override, manager gets busy and say, oh, here's my card, or my number's 1234, just go do it. Well, once they give that number out to that one employee, how long is it going to be for all the employees know it? And then that manager is being accused of giving all these approvals when he didn't do it. In this case, this requires the manager to come to a terminal, to use the camera to then verify that he did come to that terminal for login and approving whatever he's asked to approve. This is by far our most secure method of logging in, and something that you should get comfortable with and at least explaining, because not everybody's going to be able to demo this, because this is a feature that does cost extra. So you don't get upset if your demo system doesn't have this, but this is one time that you need to be able to explain it rather than show it. I mean, you get good at explaining it, then your customer will want it. They'll want it bad. Menu item completion. This is where we have connected our artificial intelligence to all the Aldelo Express databases. The technology then looks through all of our different databases from all of our customers and suggests item names when you start typing in the description. It does speed up the menu completion. It does speed up the process of correcting or creating the menu. It is something that is, you can explain it, or you can get into the back office and show it, because this is something that you do have the option for. You just have to type in a couple of letters, and then you'll get a list of potential names that come up on the screen, as you see here. Next up is our AI tip adjust. This uses the onboard camera for the iPad and the Android. So when you're purchasing an Android tablet, you're going to need to make sure that that tablet does have a camera to utilize this feature. AI does learn the different writing styles. This is across multiple installs. So that some people write 7 with a line through it. Some people don't. I've even found where sometimes I get in a hurry and I don't do a loop in my 2. I'll do a 2 with a loop sometimes, and other times it looks more like a Z. Those different writing styles are recognized, and the system does learn to utilize those. It ignores letters and words. So it does, if you wrote the word TWO for 2, it's not going to recognize that. It only recognizes letters. I'm sorry, numbers. And of course, it quickly searches for the open ticket. So when you scan this this ticket, it's going to look for the open ticket that goes with this, and then it's going to read the handwritten tip and the total. It's going to enter the tip and then confirms the math. And for those of you who were in my class when we explained it the first time, you remember this guest check has the math wrong. So it would have corrected this math to the $34, which is what I was trying to do. So this does correct the math. This does do it right. And then it closes the check for the server. So in that respect, they're scanning and scanning and scanning. And as they scan, it looks it up, reads the tip, enters the tip, and closes the check. It's very fast. If only the total was completed and they didn't put in the tip, the system will do the math to then calculate the tip. Is this faster than a server who has all their tickets lined up and is ready to go through them? Not much, not really. But is it more accurate? Oh, that's absolutely a fact. It is far more accurate. It will eliminate mistakes. It will catch the math that's been done wrong. And it will also eliminate some of the servers who are cheating when it comes to these tips. Next thing is that we've got a lot more coming. We've got a lot more coming as far as the AI features go for the rest of the year. You're going to see some really cool things coming. You know, we don't talk futures, but I have at least permission from Jeff to say this much. We got some more stuff coming soon, and you just buckle up. It's going to be pretty deadgum cool. We have innovation that is going to completely widen that gap. It's going to keep us so far ahead of the competition with regard to technology and innovation. Just get ready. So we've talked before about ROI advantages. I've mentioned before about technological advantages. I showed you in this presentation our order flow advantages, some of our visual advantages, and of course, innovation and our innovative advantages. You've also in the past heard me talk about our TCO advantage, that is in total cost of ownership. And that is what gives us the distinct leadership position that we have to be the top point of sale product in the tablet industry. We have that. Any questions?
Yeah, it looks like we secure everything in the chat there, Jerry.
Okay.
And
Was there anything in the chat that I need to talk about though?
Doug is asking if AI is on Aldelo POS for Windows.
No, this is only Express. There's not enough processing power on the Windows units to make this happen. This takes our cloud to do it. So no, there's nothing there on the Windows units.
Same with the tip. Any of the AI components do not exist in Windows. They're
Yeah.
on Aldelo Express only.
This AI stuff takes a lot of processing, guys. That's also what's going to help eliminate the competition because of their weak hardware and the way they have configured their system. Some of them require PCs at the store. Those PCs just don't have the technology that is required to do AI.
here you go.
Hey, Jerry, this is Tim. I think I've asked this question before. I'm just revisiting real quick. So, global, how many backup servers do we have at Amazon and maybe somewhere else?
We don't disclose that information.
Yeah, we don't talk about how many, but understand that we do have those databases distributed across multiple server farms. That's about as far as I can go there.
Okay, thank you.
But we don't
I
give a
understand.
specific number or location.
I understand. Thanks.
Good afternoon, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
Got a quick question. You know, the AI for your suggestion on menu item creation, that's great. And I was just wondering if you know, last install or install I'm working on right now, I'm looking for an icon library that specifically deals with the bar brands and the drinks. You know, we always encourage the restaurants to take their own photos and that type of thing. But do you know of a library that sits out there? Or do you guys have any?
Unfortunately, most brand pictures are trademarked. So, you know, we can't provide those to you legally.
Gotcha.
And you're not going to, because of that same reason, you're not going to find a library of here's all the booze brand pictures. Now, if you do search and you go, hey, boo, you know, I want common liquor brand pictures, you might find some places where they have a bunch of them that are there, but they're not typically going to be in a necessarily a library order.
Right.
You're still probably going to have to search brand by brand by brand to go find them, but you might find them all on one website.
Yeah, that's not that's kind of what I saw. I had to kind of bounce around a bunch, and I just not thinking about the trademark side of things. Just wondering if there may be some compilation of that. I guess I understand that. So
we've talked several times to like Anheuser-Busch and to you know, several distribution companies.
Yes, sir.
Can you do that? Can you put together a library? They told us legally they can't give us a clearance to do that.
Gotcha.
But they wouldn't be mad if people use those in their private point of sale. They
Yeah.
would be mad if they started using it in their marketing without permission. So there's lines and stuff that are obviously drawn for use.
Mhm.
Legally, they realize they have to protect their trademark. And if you are technically using it, they have the right to sue you to protect that trademark.
Yeah. Well, so
So that we can't distribute them because of that reason.
yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, internally, we'll kind of keep our own private library. I just,
Yeah.
Well, Ray,
Um,
while you're looking, you're probably gonna look and see some recipes,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be something that you probably should have a library of.
Yeah, actually, through another a prior scenario, developed some proprietary stuff internally for a drink recipe program. So I do have quite an extensive library of about 30,000 recipes for bars. So,
Okay.
but the logo thing was just kind of unique because everybody kind of wants that sizzle, and it does take a little time. So I'm gonna put our own library together. So
Yeah, when I was a programmer, developer, programming and installing systems, I had a library and folder of
yeah,
all the major ones you'd want. And
yeah,
I utilize the heck out of them because that
that's
helped
right.
differentiate my
Yeah.
installs and my system from others.
Yeah.
That's
The
a
older
good-
ones, I have a lot of the older ones, but obviously with the great screen resolution we have now, I was just kind of looking for new things. So we're just gonna go back and redo it. So, but I
Okay.
appreciate it. All right.
Good questions, guys. All right, so we had questions about icons. I would also suggest that you do look up some icons for tables and put them in your hostess seating module. Kind of liven that little module up as well. Use PNG files that have the
Yep.
clear background. That does enhance that area quite a bit. We also had a question in our discussion this morning in our team about using that hostess seating to create sections for different servers. So we would have section 1 would be a group of tables, section 2 a different group, and section 3 and so forth. And then you would assign a server to a section, and then that person would have their tables would be all they would see. So get creative with that table seating module, and you'll find that it's quite easy to create those sections for that server and then allow them only access to their own tables. All right, anything else, guys?
We can't talk about futures, Doug.
I wish we could, bud.
You'll have to ask me about futures in the future
When it's present.
when it's present. Yeah.
All right, I think we've about covered them all. I will be posting this Monday or so. So look for the recording then. Utilize this, guys. We have the best tablet system in the market. We've got the best technology. We've got the best hosting. We've got the best feature set. Utilize it to your advantage. You can proudly walk into a customer knowing you don't have to be embarrassed at all about anything, from price, total cost of ownership, to features, to technology. We have the lead position in this.